views and opinions expressed on Geeks Under the Influence are that of the panelists and not of our sponsors, Amazon.com and TeePublic. Parental discretion is advised.
I think anything from my childhood that you put in the terms of it being in a post-apocalyptic environment, I'm going to be happy with. You throw Buffy out there where she has to deal with like vampires who can walk in the day and she's 50 and she's like, fuck, I'm getting too old for this shit. But she's still doing the thing. I'm fucking down. That's going to be amazing.
I think we're due for a post-apocalyptic sequel to The Goonies. Personally.
Could you imagine The Goonies?
Post-apocalyptic.
It's just a treasure map to like not poison water. Like,
oh, that'd be amazing.
And they just are looking for fresh water.
Or a field of corn.
A field of
anything.
corn.
That's a hard turn, though. They went from like trying to find pirate treasure to save their town to like, we need water.
We literally need water to live.
Like, what the fuck, dude? That's fucking hard.
It's like the kids of the original cast trying to find like the stockpile that the government has in some mountain somewhere.
Right?
You know, where everyone's supposed to live for 25 years.
It's not even fucking like candy. It's like MREs and, and like bottled water. And they're like, oh, fuck, this is great.
You know, you're going to see, I'd like to see a little hybrid of that as well as like Ghostbusters or something. Like put those two concepts together.
I could see Ghostbusters going that way as well, where there's an apocalyptic event and they fuck it up. Dude, like Infinity War style, where like, fuck, we didn't catch this. Yeah. And then imagine how cool a Ghostbusters storyline would be from them trying to like get everything back in Pandora's box. It'd be fucking incredible. I do like their treatment to the new Ghostbusters movie, Afterlife, that just came out in theaters.
Yes, beautiful.
It was definitely a torch-pass movie. The vast majority of the movie was new characters, with just enough of the old characters to like wet the palates of the old fans. 84 was the first movie came out.
84.
Oh yeah, 84.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was 3 years old when that movie came out. So when I saw it on the VHS years later, I was like 5 or 6, maybe. I was a little baby child when I saw it.
You were like, wee.
And I was like, there's ghosts and people that bust ghosts. That's all I needed. It's a simple format, and I didn't get all the jokes until I got older, and then it just made it even better.
No, he's a sailor.
He's a sailor.
That's one of the biggest jokes I didn't get as a kid. That I was like, oh, that shit's hysterical.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm sorry, just jokes. That
No,
it's
fucking perfect. It's like those one-off
fucking Murray, man.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, you know, he carried the original film. Dan Aykroyd is gone. I've watched tons of interviews with those guys now. They just had a recent one.
Yeah, with Kimmel. Fuck him.
Well, they on several different ones, but there's also the movies that made us did the background on that, so you got a little more in depth.
If you have not had a chance to watch the movies that made us, it's fantastic.
It's
a great
great.
documentary
So good.
series.
It's like an on the run for nerds who need to know shit. Like, I need to know this. I need to watch this and know why my favorite shit was made.
You have
how
an
it was
hour
made.
lunch break that you need to like get some insight into something that you love. Well, guess what? Watch an episode of Movies That Made Us. It's fucking great.
A side note for the movies that made us, my wife and I sat down to watch one for the newest season, and the first episode was Halloween. Closer it got to the end, she's like, wait, did you know all this? I was like, yeah. She's like, because I wasn't reacting the same way, like, oh, cool. I was like, I knew this. That's fine.
That's kind of what was exciting about Ghostbusters Afterlife, is that, you know, I know a lot about the making of the original films. And,
yeah, exactly.
And, you know, who was supposed to be in the movies that ended up not being in the movies. And I'm sure we'll touch on that a little bit during this episode.
Right.
But to see a continuation of the story where they're filling it out a little bit more, but still in this separate story where they're giving the room for new characters to breathe and become their own people. And I'm interested also to talk about like the major difference between critic scores and viewer
It's hard.
scores.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah. We are talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife specifically. So if you have not seen the film, definitely, if you're worried about spoilers, wait to listen to this episode. We will be getting into the original Ghostbusters movies as well, I'm sure, on this episode. But I'm so excited to talk about a long overdue third movie in canon with the Ghostbusters. So stick around for that one. This is Geeks Under the Influence, all things Ghostbusters Afterlife. Whee!
All right.
Things at work and shall be again. A changing of the guards, the tides marching in. You think you can hold out, but you know you're wrong. So you better join us now. You better do it fast, or
so ready to talk about this fucking movie. And here with me is a panel that is just as excited to dig into something that was so... I don't know how I could overstate how important, especially the first Ghostbusters movie, was to my childhood.
Oh
Yes,
my
the
god.
first one, yes.
I mean, it's right up there with Star Wars for me as far as like some of the most like informing movies of my childhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will totally watch that actually more than Star Wars. I probably put more time into Ghostbusters than I have into Star Wars. The original. Yeah.
But you know, like
Hands
fair.
down.
Because
I get it.
Not
I mean,
only-
I get that.
it creates this
Yeah.
alternate version of Manhattan in the 80s where ghosts are, or that when you turn into a ghost, apparently some people just turn into an angry librarian that turns into a monster, and some turn into weird wiggly Muppet monsters
That's right.
out of nowhere that you there's no real explanation as to who turns into what. at
Just
any
remember,
point.
it's a spirit dimension. Never says a human spirit dimension.
True.
In any of the
Yeah,
movies.
because I mean, and you have people that turn into like giant hellhounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
And there's
Ghostbusters multiverse,
so
man.
much
I'm telling you,
mythos
there's
that
a lot of shit going on.
has been expanded upon with the different Ghostbusters cartoons, the comic books. There's this rich world that has been developed far beyond the first two movies that came out that explain that a little bit better or kind of gives their own take on it. And Afterlife is a direct continuation of mainly the first one with very light touch on the second.
I would say the great thing about the original Ghostbusters, unlike Star Wars in a sense, and like it was more adult.
Yeah.
You know, it was these grown ass men, much like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Sure.
Okay, which was more of an adult story, but it was still, you know, we saw it as children
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't like made to be obscene, and this is why we love it so much, is because it's like these.
It didn't talk down.
It didn't talk down.
Yeah.
At all.
No.
It was so fucking fantastic.
Like Ray and Venkman sitting on like the steps after they got fired,
Drinking
and
booze.
they're drinking booze like openly in like in just around being like, what do we do next? I don't. Where do we get the money? I don't know. Just passing the bottle.
when I was a kid, I had no idea that Ray was getting a blowjob from a fucking ghost.
You know,
It's
shit,
like-
dude.
Well, that's
Holy
obviously
shit.
one of the more if there's ever a controversial scene in a Ghostbusters movie,
Sure.
it's going to be that.
No, that's my
That
favorite
8-year-old
scene.
kids watching ghost blowies.
But actually, more importantly, one of the first scene of the movie that involves Bill Murray is him giving the psychic test to the one guy and the one
shocking
girl,
the shit out of him.
and shocking only the guy,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously to
And being like a weird predatory professor at a college.
well to gain favor with the girl.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
that
yeah.
sort of thing. So, and
Yeah,
and there's an interesting article that I read recently that talked about how as we go through the movie, there's two cutscenes. Okay, so there's two cutscenes, and the one cutscene is the mid-credit scene. Yeah, there's one at the end.
Oh, no, you're talking about post-credit, not cut
Post-
scenes.
excuse me,
They're
cuts.
called post-credit scenes.
Post-credit scenes, and one of them is with. Well, I don't want to give it away. We'll
Yeah,
go into
we'll
it.
get into it a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
first, let's get into the our Ghostbusters, our crew here to talk about not being afraid of no ghosts. First up, from Beautiful Disasters, a podcast on the network that talks all things schlock and genre film. We've
Oh, yeah.
got Herr Grutz here.
Oh, yeah.
You and I were able to watch the movie together.
Yes, it was fantastic.
And what I love is that there was a moment early on in the film where they walk into the farmhouse for the first time and there's these books stacked and you like elbowed me and was like, books. No, I know. Like, I know.
Dude,
I
we
noticed.
I asked him if did he catch that little Easter egg, and I
No,
was like, wait a minute,
I
that's
was
awesome.
like so excited because that's like the first real big call out to the original movie.
Oh, sure.
There were just enough of people in the theater that I was like, no human can stack books like that. I wanted to say that so hard, but I was like, there's people around.
Oh man. But he was just so giddy, like, oh, books. The books literally that's the fan service that literally there's just books stacked in a weird way, and that's enough for us to be like, there's books stacked on their side. Wee! Just
Now,
so happy.
Had
know.
I
So stoked.
had I elbowed you every time that a callback
Oh god.
Your ribs would hurt.
happened
Yeah.
to this, yeah, you'd be in the hospital.
Yeah,
Dude.
probably.
Dude. Oh, but there were so many subtle ones too. That was the
Yeah.
genius thing. It wasn't that one. I feel like was subtle, but it was kind of in your face for our age. the kids coming to see it, they had no fucking
Oh, no,
idea.
they're
They had
gonna
no
miss
fucking idea.
They're gonna miss half the shit.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah, let's.
Yeah, and actually, somebody that has exposed his daughter to Ghostbusters. I was going to pause longer to make it sound grosser, but no, exposed your daughter
Please
to Ghostbusters early on.
don't.
Yeah,
no.
Please not do that.
Thank you.
Gentleman that has waxed poetic at length with us outside of the shows, at the very least, about his love for Ghostbusters and how he's instilled that love into the next generation of Smashes.
That's right.
We've got Kyle Smash here.
How's it going?
And I'm interested to talk to you on this episode about just like somebody that has had that generational effect on your kid on having a love for the original movies and how this stands up as definitely more family focused as a film.
Mm-hmm.
The first two movies they're drinking whiskey, you know, they're
There's a whole lot of nuances that as a kid I didn't notice. It's definitely a movie that I grew when I grew up with it. I mean, I grew up with it because when you watch it as you grow up, you get
catch something
more
every
and
time,
more and
yeah.
more and more. Even to this day, there are sometimes I'm listening to it and I was like, I swear I didn't fucking catch that. But Laura, my kid's not going to like she's going to watch it that way too. Because all she saw at the beginning was like she loved the music. She danced every time any of the music came on during the movie. And then it was the proton packs and it was Slimer. It was always about Slimer.
Yeah.
And so that was her,
Slimer.
that is what she loved. And now to watch her as she's getting older, watch it, I could see where she's picking up like just hopefully not too many things, but just a couple of, just a couple of things to help keep that story. Like no matter how old it gets, you always feel like a kid when you're watching it. And I feel like a kid watching her watch it.
Hopefully it takes her this is a little bit longer to realize that, Keymaster, Gatekeeper,
that they're banging it out.
yeah.
So-
But I mean, it took because I remember again with what Smash is saying to get the reference of keyhole.
That was an awkward moment.
And I like on
See?
this
Right?
That was an
version of
awkward
it,
moment.
they had a similar version in this film, but there was like a wink to them making sure that it was clear that it was like they were both okay with it afterwards. There wasn't like this weird.
No, it was
like,
consent.
You got possessed by demons and then your genitals touched. How do you feel about it afterwards? It wasn't like Sigourney Weaver being like, I don't want to fuck this dude. Like, why? Fuck, now I got to deal with like
Sigourney Weaver
fucking my neighbor.
Yeah.
There was no after effects of it in the first movie. This
Right.
time it was just like Paul Rudd being like, hey, I think we might have boned. And her being like, yeah, I'm totally cool with it. Like, you're hot. You're Paul Rudd. You're the most
his
attractive
name's
man.
Paul Rudd in the movie.
Sexiest man alive.
Sexiest man
Oh, yeah.
alive via People magazine. Yes, I'm cool if your dick went in me. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And it just
It's totally the
removed
conversation.
Removed any kind of
It's totally the
weirdness about it.
conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly how that went.
I mean, it did,
What the
and I'm
fuck?
glad that they added in there as to end my introduction off as a father watching it with his daughter, with his kid. There was like awkward moment, but at least it was done with respect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
So
I mean, he gave her a flower that she ate.
yeah, that's true. That movie had a lot of respect for the people watching it for the different reasons they're
Yep.
watching it.
Now, Lowdown, you also watched it with your kid as well, right?
Yeah, age difference, but
Yeah.
my 16 versus 10, so there was a little bit of a
Yeah,
more understanding of the
Yeah.
sure.
the adult jokes.
The demon banging.
Yeah,
Yes.
the demon banging.
I'm gonna-
And also the fact that like Paul Rudd was showing a summer class Cujo and then Chucky. that was
When I saw that,
amazing.
I immediately thought of like you and Hunter if you were like summer school teachers.
Yes,
Being
exactly.
like,
yes,
I don't want to do this shit. I guess you're gonna learn about Doll Man.
Well, see, Doll Man was a whole other thing. You go into Doll Man, that's a whole other series of movies.
yeah,
So like,
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
just
totally
amazing
done.
that they had it and watched it. Like to get the rights specifically to put those up on the screen.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. There was some
Yeah,
effort.
that was so rad, but I'm like, no, I would totally be me, and I wish I went to that summer school. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
It reminded me of an old '80s movie called Summer School.
I
where
was
there were two kids that were obsessed with horror movies that made all these props and shit, and there was a summer school teacher that did not give a fuck at all, and it had a little bit of that vibe a bit with Paul Rudd being there, like, I don't give a shit.
He's not hiding the fact he doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm a seismologist.
I've got seismology shit in the back. I'm gonna make you watch fucking Child's Play while I'm doing seismology.
Figuring out
shit in
these
the back.
random ass fucking earthquakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they're in a fucking burnt down Midwest town that all of their industry has left. So it's like, I know you kids are going to get into meth later anyway. This doesn't matter. Like, you don't need an education. It's fine. Like,
They've got one Sonic style restaurant,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
that,
Yeah.
you know,
That
That was amazing. This
Mm.
might be the longest introduction period.
Yeah,
of
no.
all time.
yeah.
You want to finish that?
Yeah, I want to finish this. So yeah,
yeah, finish them off.
the man who's just dragging this out. We got that Mike the Hobbit Bickett. He's just phoning it in on each of us.
You know what? Whatever.
That's fine.
I'm so excited to just talk about this.
We can't help it.
Can't help it. But yeah, check out GUIPodcast.com for links to all the stuff for the different shows. We've got Geekfathers here, Mouse and Madness people here, Beautiful Disasters here, me with Deeply Upsetting and Smack My Pitch Up, and of course now back to GUI.
Mm.
So what I wanted to get into more than anything else going into this at the beginning is the heritage of the characters. That
Yes.
it is unclear for the first part of the movie, very briefly, who these kids and this mom is.
Is it really though?
I mean,
It's not.
Anybody
Is it
that's
really,
a fan of the
though?
original kind of already gets where it is.
Yeah, I was like,
And it's only maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes in that it's pretty clear,
Mhm.
you know, that it's
Yeah.
made clear who,
Yeah.
Well, I
who
mean,
it is.
let's talk about the opening. of the
amazing
film.
opening scene. Yeah,
We're talking. I mean, that was one hell of an opening, and you know what? It set the tone for the rest of the film, just like the library scene in the original. As soon as
True.
you had that, from the music to the way it was shot to the scare, it balanced all those things in one fucking scene. And how this movie opened, I think did a pretty goddamn good job at homage to that.
Yeah.
It's like all right, you knew he was running for something. You saw just the dust, the wind dust up from the invincible force following him all the way back to the house, and you see the smoke of the ghost, and then all of a sudden you get the old school recap from the chair scene from the original Ghost. I was
Yep.
like, fuck,
What
they
a wonderful-
started it like this. That was to me, that went hard.
That went hard.
That went hard, dude. That was
You want
awesome.
to know what made me hard? Was
I don't,
as
but
soon as
I'm sure
as
you're
soon
gonna tell
as
me.
it-
New
that-
show coming on the GUI network is What Makes Smash Hard, coming
Oh,
this
Lord.
spring.
Put that
it's
on a
called Smash
t-shirt.
Harder.
Smash Harder, yeah.
God damn it!
You're welcome.
What? I can't. Okay, so what was great about the opening scene was as soon as you saw the proton pack stream go straight up in the sky, I thought that was such a beautiful fucking shot.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a gorgeous, like Encounters of the Third Kind shot. And I thought that was absolutely beautiful. That moment I saw that, I was like, I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
in, period.
Everything about this movie, the way it was made, the way it was written, it's a love letter.
Oh, totally.
It
not
is-
only is it a love letter from the director Jason Reitman,
Mhm.
but it everything honors the original movie so much. The score work, the pacing,
Mm-hmm.
everything about it. Like, I was apprehensive going into this movie because it was 2 hours and 5 minutes long. I wasn't when I finished the movie.
No,
Because
no.
this movie was paced perfectly, and you're talking about this opening scene, which creates serious suspense and dread, and also sets up what is to come. And
It starts with you showing how an original Ghostbuster dies.
right,
Yes.
Like,
That's
but
like
you don't know that yet.
No.
but it
I mean, you know it in your heart.
Yeah.
we all knew, but the face was off screen.
Yeah.
And we'll get back into
everybody knows that hair, though.
That
hair and that
person later.
nose. Like,
dude,
that's-
yeah.
but
I
even
mean,
so,
come on, man.
no, it literally set it up perfectly.
Yeah.
It was a perfect opening.
And I think one of the biggest things it did for moving forward with this film as being a new story while being a love letter as well, because it did both those things awesome
Mhm.
and beautifully, seamlessly, was you realize, oh, this is fucking bigger. Because you realize he set up some shit. Like when he's on his porch and he holds out and he flips the switch and you realize he's created this field to hold ghosts in his fucking front yard. Like, you realize that it's bigger than whatever the Ghostbusters have dealt with before.
Right.
And so they really do give you that, like, oh shit, what the fuck has he been
he's like,
doing?
my ghost rep brings all the Zuuls to the yard, and they're like, you're gonna, I don't die.
You're going to
Okay.
get yours.
You're gonna get yours. Yeah,
There you
there it
go.
is. That's it.
I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm behind it.
That's fine. I don't need a cosign for that. That's fine.
Hey, some
no,
people
like,
can rap and some can't.
I just think it's. I think you're right. Just setting it up. This how and with how big that was, it just let you know how big this is going to get. You know.
What that's what I loved, not just about the beginning of the movie, but how the movie was structured, and that's why I threw in a Stranger Things comparison, and I'm sure many thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people online have done the same. You can't help but make that correlation, and the reason is because Stranger Things is a love letter to the 80s. Okay,
It's a love letter to Ghostbusters. I mean, like literally season 2, they are dressed as Ghostbusters.
Right,
And
but not
E.T. and
but
But
like
that's what I'm
everything.
saying. I didn't want to single it down to just Ghostbusters because they've given a lot of love to a lot of different
Sure.
styles, especially during the 80s. And the way that they shot this was almost a reflection of that, right? You can't shoot it exactly like you did in the 80s. And obviously there's different skill sets out there now and ways to do it. But they showed it in the way with those long shot, the way the texture was, the cinematography was a love letter, just like Stranger Things. So it's important to make that correlation. Plus, the kid from Stranger Things was in it. He was basically him in that movie.
Biggest difference.
He was a Bill Murray-ish him.
The tone isn't exactly the same as the original Ghostbusters movies, but I think it's important on why that's the case. You have this Ghostbusters movie where you have like all these old SNL people, the greatest comedic actors of the time, and it's them riffing off of one another, and they're like selling these characters with the like funniest, even facial expressions during this. Now you go to where there's these young kids that are part of the story. They're not going to be able to carry the story the same way that those actors did. So do you try to mimic the original tone, or do you give enough of that tone while putting more of an, as I've seen a lot of reviews, that Amblin pixie dust on it, where it has that like Spielbergian childlike wonderment kind of vibe mixed with that, and they went that route. And I think honestly that was the best way they could have done it.
Yeah, they did that, and they did it fucking beautifully. Like we talked a little bit about this prior to sitting down to record, and I was like, look, this is clearly a modern movie. This is a 2020 film, but it was written in the vein of an 80s film for children.
Yeah.
I mean, the jokes these kids are telling, you're not going to get that in a modern movie written for modern times. Like, kids aren't talking like that.
Oh, the dad jokes.
Dude, I'm just saying. Kids,
my soul
like,
was fulfilled.
Kids aren't gonna like podcasts. He was like, I think he was bone your mom. Like, kids don't say that now.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't use bone.
They use all kinds of shit.
I have a teenager. You have a 10-year-old. I'm telling you, teenagers don't say bone.
Well, maybe they. I'm
just saying. I'm just telling you.
I'm not saying the 10-year-old.
And these kids are older than 10, so
they might say wreck. They might say hollow out. But they aren't saying bone.
They say bang, or just. I'm sure between their friends they say just straight fuck.
Okay, so
because
ruin.
Ruin. Yeah. I think it was to ruin your mom. I'm just saying, dude. Teenagers
too
don't
late.
talk like
that was my dad. Thank you.
Yeah. But teenagers don't talk like that, and I think that nowadays, that it was really important to keep. That was what kind of transferred over. I think.
Yeah.
To make it more of like it's written like an 80s film, but it's not the throwback style like we talked about with with some of these other things.
Yeah.
They didn't go so heavy with it.
Yeah.
I will say that the choice to do it in a kind of rundown town allows you to kind of stay in that 80s type feel.
Sure.
It's obviously a very
kind of
old
forgotten.
town.
Yeah.
Right. Where this, if
everybody has low bars.
Right.
Low bars.
All the kids are modern teenagers in this sort of like town stuck in the past, and you forget about the city. You forget about, because if they shot it in the city, it would be way too modern. It might even take you out of the film.
You probably would have.
But by doing it the way that they did it was a genius way to not only keep you like in the 80s vein and sort of like that feeling of the original, but you wouldn't get distracted.
Yeah. It was deliberate. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
I will say, I don't know if Jason Reitman also wrote this or he was a partial writer on this.
Co-wrote.
Yeah. He co-wrote?
Yeah.
I have to give crazy credit to the fact that he not only co-wrote and directed kids on the scale of Spielberg directing kids.
I agree.
Because those kid characters were fucking awesome.
Can we talk about fucking McKenna Grace? The main kid. She was
outstanding.
She killed it. She absolutely
crushed it. She crushed it.
She was outstanding.
She was able to go from the like, and you saw even growth in her character from being like completely in her own world when she's upping the power in their apartment.
Like obviously an Egon.
Yeah, an Egon for sure.
Yeah.
To her running across a friend, like an actual friend.
Yeah, it was a little on the nose, but she was so good
her
at
little
it.
one-line dad jokes. Finally, there's a kid that's just like, okay, you're funny as shit. And I've been like, thank God somebody finally gets my sense of humor.
I thought maybe at first they were going to go, oh, okay, there's like, there's a boy interested in you, blah, blah, girl, there's a boy and he gets your jokes. It's like, no. It's not that. It's just like there is a friend and another person. They could have went the route, they could have went the route, oh, now he's got a crush on you. No. There was just like, there is another person who gets my jokes.
If he does, it was only vaguely
that's what I mean.
At. Like
it would have been so easy to go like, this is the guy who's got a crush on me. You know what I mean? And it was done just, I'm so happy they didn't just go easy. Well, they didn't go for the shoehorn.
It gave her character complete like autonomy.
Exactly.
She wasn't like, it wasn't because she was like a cute nerdy girl. Like it was just, she was able to just exist in her own sphere where it wasn't a romance story or anything. Yeah.
As well as podcast was too. It wasn't like, same. oh no, I want to hang out with her. Like, no,
whatever. He was just like, fuck, this is the raddest shit that I've ever, like, just.
So both characters are able to breathe on their own.
Yep.
And that's awesome.
Let's talk about podcasts. So first off, they gave him some of the best lines in the movie. Now McKenna Grace, they obviously played really well off each other. McKenna Grace is a force. She's a fucking.
Yeah.
I was like, who was this kid? And then I watched this, and
superstar.
She's going places.
Yeah.
And so is this podcast.
She's already done a bunch of stuff though. McKenna Grace has done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, she was in like Handmaid's Tale and all sorts of shit.
Yeah, she's done tons of shit.
So she's on route to be, really big.
No, but I'm just saying.
The kid that played podcast though, I felt like, and I don't know if this is intentional at all. I've never like seen a rumor, but to me, felt like a love to, a like homage to Mouth. In a sense,
it's that character. It was also a little Ray Stantz in there as well.
I saw the Ray Stantz, but in terms of attitude, because Ray Stantz he could play around with it, where Egon was obviously very a straightforward character.
Yeah,
and Bill Murray was the
he was the Mouth. Bill Murray was
right.
The mouth.
Bill Murray's he's like the game show host.
Yeah,
and I know that they try to give that more to Finn Wolfhard, whatever his name is.
Yeah, but
he felt
a little flat for me. He wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. But
I don't think they gave him too much enough to do.
Yeah,
a lot of it was focused on McKenna Grace and actually podcasts by association.
They were focusing more on him trying to get laid.
Yeah,
was his.
But
main...
also 15. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I actually appreciated that because like the fact that they featured his younger sister more. And we all know his face from Stranger Things, and that would have distracted us so much from the plot of the movie.
Agreed.
And I liked his little minor storyline with the hot, younger, teenage girl.
Yeah,
that he was into, but everything came together beautifully.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But
I will say the one thing they did. Well, I would say the one thing they did, but the thing I enjoyed the most is I love scenes where things that you love that were probably broken down or put back together, just from a technical standpoint. Like I love seeing that shit and how smart it was. And when she finds that hidden the whole hidden lab, she gets down there and she's. God. The first time I saw the protein pack. Can we make
our podcast studio that? Can we just have like a fucking barn in one of our backyards that has a fucking slidey pole to the podcast room?
Yes. By the way, the pulp, that was a great, beautiful touch.
Yeah.
But when she gets down there, she sees the proton pack. And when you first see it, now my kid squealed, was super excited. She's like, I know what that is. And I kind of did too. And then she puts it together. I love that I love that sort of like those like, where it's like, all right, let's do this, put this back together. Mm-hmm. And the lamps move in with her to kind of tell her what to do.
I was going to, yeah, dude.
I was like, I may be like 8, 9 right now. Like, I may be that excited.
When she's getting grandpa time, I was like, this is fucking amazing. Yeah. Well, he's just guiding her, like, yeah, do this.
Well, right? It leads up to an amazing scene of now, like, we've got this shit fixed, and let's show you how. Let's remind you how it works. I was like, that's beautiful. Like the whole scene's beautiful.
And I want to speak to the use of the light bulbs as a way of like following, using the was the EKG meter.
He'll pop up and it'll go off.
Which was seen the moment he passes away.
The light bulbs I saw in several reviews talked about how that was such a rip from Stranger Things, but that's completely untrue. The ghosts being involved with like lights and turning them off and on has been a thing for the longest time. There's a thing called a ghost light in theaters where there's one light that you keep on all the time.
Yes.
It's a thing, and especially with most of the Ghostbusters coming from improv theaters or theater stuff, I'm sure that was kind of in line with the thought process of maybe, that's how Egon communicates. And it's been used in a number of films where well before Stranger Things. So that is a maybe lesser known trope, but it's still a trope. It's not something that they ripped from Stranger Things. That's
No,
that's
they did
been
not.
a thing.
No.
And listen, I saw an interview with Dan Aykroyd, who was the way he had mentioned. He's like, listen, they took their name from an old, very, very early film, like black and white film, Ghostbusters. That's where he got the name, but not the concept.
And also cartoon. It was an old live action thing where there was like an ape, a person in an ape costume.
I've heard that one.
Oh yes,
he said that in an interview.
And then
I haven't heard that one.
And then, well, it was a live action thing that then later became cartoon.
No, it's saying I heard the thing about the ape, and it was that's where they got the name from. That's what I heard in an interview he did with Kimmel.
Where they were all in full production, and it was only like halfway through production that they got clearance to use the name. And they're like, oh, thank God, because the Ghostbusters is on every scene of this.
Have you seen the clips of the other names they tried to use? They were
yeah.
terrible.
Oh,
I think Ghost Breakers was one of them.
Ghost Breakers.
Yeah.
Ghost
Breakers, and they did it those two ways, which was so cool to like learn about. I was like, I had no idea. You didn't know how this fucking movie was made until like not long ago, and then you're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
How did they Slimer Jim like Belushi? I did not expect that. I never thought that when I saw Slimer.
Oh, the Slimer is supposed to be Belushi's ghost. Yeah.
And did you know that the original name for Slimer was Onion Head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of impact, or its entrance into the zeitgeist, Dan Aykroyd had mentioned, like, listen, after Ghostbusters, you started seeing more paranormal stuff, paranormal TV shows, psychics, things like that come out, good or bad. It launched sort of this whole.
There'd be no
culture
supernatural if it wasn't for Ghostbusters, dude. That's flat out.
Sure.
There'd be no supernatural.
There'd be no poltergeist for sure.
Think
Hell,
about it, dude.
I would have to ask Tim Burton, but I wonder if there'd ever be like a Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice?
Right?
I'm sure there would be, but it would have been different.
Yeah.
Would he be a ghost?
No.
Would he be a spirit?
No, Ghostbusters was such a huge phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, it changed the entire like pop culture zeitgeist like hugely. And what we really need to focus on, probably in the next segment, is the fact that this movie pays homage in such a beautiful way to that legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like every part of this movie, while it's new and interesting and inventive, and I enjoyed every minute of it, it's still called back.
Can't wait to see it again.
Called back so much that I probably bruised your ribs because I was like, this, that.
Well, and the one thing I want to touch on before we go into break is that I was interested in how they would handle, this massive ghost thing that happened in New York in the 80s, and how like are ghosts just like a commonplace thing that people know about now and they're aware of. And I love how simply they made it, where it's like, this was before the internet. This is before people had cameras on their phones. This was something that a lot of people explained away.
It's a myth.
It's something that was a weird thing. And even in the original Ghostbusters, like by the second one, they talked about how people didn't really believe that it was actually a giant marshmallow man that walked down the middle of fucking Manhattan. Sure. And
my dad
was there, dude. Like, you got covered in marshmallows.
The opening scene of the second one is, them going to the birthday party and the little kid coming up to Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson and being like, my dad says you guys are full of shit.
Yeah.
Or full of crap.
And especially,
it's like,
and I think especially in the world that we live in, where truth is subjective, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The idea that there doesn't need to be a cover up. There doesn't need to be this whole thing to try to explain away what happened in New York. It happened before the internet. So, I don't know. Maybe it happened. Maybe it didn't. And that's all it needed to be. The simplicity of that, I thought, was fucking brilliant. You didn't need to spend a lot of time on it. And there were people that definitely conspiracy theory it or were like interested in it and dug into it, like Paul Rudd's character.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a thing that was popularly believed to have actually happened. And that's crazy.
And like, you're right. I love how like it became a lore, and like every time Paul Rudd's character sees something, his fucking expressions.
Oh
where he's
my
like,
God.
like in the police station where the proton packs, he's like, yeah, yep, and he's just you see the pain in his face that he has to leave without it.
Yeah.
like he just wants the fucking proton pack.
I think
and the ghost catcher.
Paul Rudd was designed in a fucking laboratory.
No shit.
And 30 to 40% of his entire makeup of the mass of him is Ghostbusters. I'm telling you, like, he was built for this movie.
Yeah.
Oh no shit, he was totally. Built for this role.
I think I even saw a critic thing on TV, where they do the trailer and it's like, "Whoa, blow you away," blah blah blah, and it's like, Paul Rudd was made for this, and I was like, "Oh, that's a stretch," but I watched it, and I mean, completely, probably without him, it would not have been the film it was. It really would not.
Mm-mm.
I thought he made fucking the Ant-Man character so amazing in the Marvel universe. But
Oh yeah.
God damn, if he didn't just what you just said, like just walked into this role and was so believable as like a small town weird teacher that is doing summer school and like just loved the past.
His love of science made him fit perfectly with this, because all of the Ghostbusters, except for Winston, Ernie Hudson's character, were just giant nerds for science. And the way he talked about science, he was just like, no, this is totally believable. Like, I want to have a conversation and a beer with Paul Rudd about how he feels about science, because I guarantee it wasn't that far off. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
Well, essentially what they built was almost like a Young Avengers situation with the Ghostbusters. But they did it without forcing it up your ass or down your throat. They were just like, here, this is what we want to do, and you totally absorb it. You're like, okay, here's my money. Just make the next one. I want to see what you do next.
And from interviews that I've seen, there's already been like talk. I don't think it's been officially greenlit, but their conversation is like, and in the next one is in the conversation. So there's a full intent on there being a sequel.
They leave it open for that, so they need to.
Yeah,
they should probably do that.
They do. There's at the end credit scene that I didn't realize existed the first time, so I went and saw it a second time.
Oh yeah, no, I walked out of the theater and the credits rolling. I was like, wait, is there two? And I looked, I'm like, I'm going back in.
Yep.
I was like, fuck that. I'm not missing that.
I always stay through the credits.
They marveled me again.
No, we watched the first one, and then I was ready to. But I also know Grutz is one that even if there isn't an end scene, he wants to pay proper respect to everybody that worked on the film. So we'll sit through a fucking whole run of credits.
It's that, and also I like to see the actual all the music.
Yeah,
which is always one of the last things they roll in credits.
Yeah,
so, I always stay through the credits.
So I probably would have gotten up before the last one, but because Grutz is that guy, because Grutz is fucking Grutz, we stayed, and then it went, and then all of a sudden there's this great fucking homage to the original movie, but also Sigourney fucking Weaver shows up.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Well, she was,
there's
she
all
was in
that.
the first post one, yeah.
There's all that, but I also don't like crowds.
Oh, that was the first one,
I just like to leave by
Sigourney
myself.
Weaver was the first one.
What was the second one?
Ernie Hudson, and
oh,
he brings
right.
Ecto one back to the fucking firehouse.
We're going to talk about that later.
We're going to talk about that later. Mm-hmm. That one scene, I have 1,000
he says he's going to do it, and then that scene he does it. You're like, oh baby,
listen,
back home.
Oh
man,
with the drive of Ecto 1 going into the city,
and the fucking song kicks in. You're like,
you're going to hear grown men fucking
screaming the entire studio,
come and cry on the second.
Hey, there's still room in the wall for more of the foam. Maybe we should shoot on the walls.
That
and
might be
stick it up there.
Do it like Happy Time Murders.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, like fucking
or like the movie Happiness, where he just jizzes and put phone pages on the wall.
Yeah, let's not do it that way.
He slimed me.
We are at our halfway break, so stick around, listen to some of the other shows you can hear on the network.
Slimed me.
We'll be right back in just a moment.
Oh shit. Coming straight from the mouths of madness, I'm Lowdown.
I'm FU Hunter.
Do you love horror?
We fucking do.
So this is a podcast dedicated to all things in cinematic horror. We're talking movies, television, composers, special effects artists. We're going to fucking cover it.
So if you love horror,
embrace the madness.
My name is Amy Bogard.
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
And we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as, what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIPodcast.com.
Hey guys, Scotty Big Daddy Preston here, that's right, the Geek Father, asking you to join me here every other week with friends and family of the GUI Network as we go through all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent. So remember, join us or cry.
We're back for the second half of Geeks Under the Influence, all things Ghostbusters Afterlife, as well as conversations about the first 2 Ghostbusters films as well. The only Ghostbusters movies that exist, definitely no other ones in existence. And before we get into...
There were 2 other ones.
No, I mean 1 and 2, and then this one. There's no other Ghostbusters movies.
Oh, I thought you were just denouncing 2 because 2 sucked too.
No, I'm denouncing something. But before we get into that, let's talk about our sponsors a little bit. First off, of course, is Amazon.com. Not only are you going to be possibly motivated to get like a nice, beautiful Blu-ray copy of the first 2 Ghostbusters movies, but when this movie comes out, of course, you're going to want to buy it, because I know I am. I'm buying this the day it comes out.
Yeah.
So I can exhaustively go over all the bonus feature stuff and just watch it to a obsessive degree. And the best way to do that is through Amazon.com. If you do that, though, make sure you go through our link at GUIPodcast.com. You go through that link, everything that you purchase, we get credit for. So you can buy Ghostbusters merch, posters, T-shirts, fucking even like the packs if you want. There's like the like toy versions of it that are pretty solid nowadays. Way cooler than we had when we were younger. The Ghostbusters toys have gotten pretty significant. There's even like Nerf Ghostbusters toys now.
What?
Yeah.
So we did have some pretty rad tools. Like I did have a proton pack I got for Christmas one
Yeah,
year.
yeah. I remember mine was like, it was just the mold, like nothing moved on it though.
Oh no, nothing moved on mine.
So it was just like a plastic backpack that you wore with like the little like, thing. Yeah.
Nothing moved. No.
No. But the toys have gotten a lot more exciting than when we were young. And you can find those all at Amazon.com. Just make sure you go through our link so that the evil monsters that control Amazon get a little bit less of the money. But another way, and a way that I'm excited about, especially because I now have an excuse to make a Ghostbusters-centric GUI design for this episode, that I will hopefully make one good enough to put on the website. TeePublic is the way to go. I was just talking earlier that the quality of the products that are coming out right now through TeePublic have improved significantly. So if you have purchased stuff during the pandemic, they were unfortunately having to outsource to other companies and their quality level went down a little bit. The recent stuff that I've been getting is top-notch quality. It looks great. It's washing really well. It's not wearing out too quickly. It's great. So
that is good to hear.
Yeah, great to hear. I've got a great new hoodie with the Masters of the Universe GUI design that looks great. I got the Let's Get Spooky GUI design t-shirt that looks fucking great.
Nice.
I'm about to buy some shit, and it's getting the holiday season. So if there's family members, friends of yours that like the show, or just there's designs that aren't even show specific, they're just dumb fun designs on the site, check it out. There's something for everyone on the site, and that's the best way to support GUI. We get a bigger cut out of that than we do Amazon. So I would say if you had a choice between the two, buy some merch. Like, represent the shows on the network. Every show on the network is represented on the site, and all sorts of cool, weird, dumb shit as well. So TeePublic, GUIPodcast.com/store, or just click on the TeePublic link on the homepage. It'll send you right to our TeePublic page. So moving forward into the real thing that gets us motivated to wax poetic about our favorite things, we're talking about what we're drinking.
Hey, we're fucking drinking. We're getting drunk. You want to know? Well, here you go. Hey.
We're drinking. We're getting drunk.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. It's Kyle.
How you doing?
Hi, Kyle.
Hi.
We've got plenty to make sure that the second half is guaranteed off the rails
Indeed.
nightmare. First off, Lowdown, you brought some tasty treats for us.
I did. This is the fucking name though. Jesus. The Velvet Walrus on Hazelnut Coffee, a bourbon barrel-aged milk stout.
Oh, that was not acid driven at all.
No.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's not too bad. It's only 8.3%. So it's not like super punchy in the face, kick your dick. This is by Vossen Brewing, East Coast local, right out of Richmond, Virginia. But it's fucking delicious.
Oh yeah, I get those vanilla notes for sure. The coffee, I get a little bit. It's a little bit creamy, but it's not an overly heavy beer. I mean, it's on the heavier side, but it's not.
It's definitely it's a milk stout.
As far as stouts go, it's not bad. It's light.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sip it and immediately just go, like
You're not drunk yet. Off one sip. You're like, oh god.
It also reminds me that Velvet Walrus, there was a Blue Velvet reference in Ghostbusters when a double reference because it was Paul Rudd looking at the Baskin Robbins flavors, the company he worked for very briefly in Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the flavors was Blue Velvet, and he went, Blue Velvet.
Yeah, as he walks away, yeah. He's like, Blue Velvet. Fucking.
Yeah, the substitute teacher-
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, right.
Haagen-Dazs.
I was going to say, where are we going?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a teacher that shows Cujo and Child's Play to his kids knows some Blue Velvet.
No, yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just no one gives a shit. That's what that is.
But no, this is Vazen. This is the Richmond brewery, and it is it's very tasty.
It's delicious. It's a sweet old tasty thing.
And it is getting cold enough that that the heavier beers are now coming out of the woodwork and ready to be drank.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm not super stoked about like 20-degree weather, but I am super stoked about like the beers that come with
It'll be fine.
that time of year. So
20-degree weather is perfect. It's fine.
Grutz is passing out some new tasty whiskey.
Well, speaking of cold weather, it is whiskey weather now.
Yeah.
And I bought this kind of sight unseen at the ABC. This is a straight bourbon whiskey out of Tennessee called Heaven's Door. And it just seemed thematic.
Mm.
There's a lot of ghost situations happening. and
Right.
We'll talk about the very end.
There's doors to different realities.
It's a shame that anyone listening can't see that even the little shot glasses are very appropriate. They're like
a skeleton
yeah,
hands.
skeleton hands.
I feel like
coming
they're
out.
Halloween shot glasses, but yes, they are appropriate.
Yeah, it's only 46 proof.
I'd hope so, or maybe not. I don't know.
In
They're
this
great
house,
either
it's a
way.
toss-up,
It's
yeah.
It's by no means my favorite whiskey ever, but it's not bad. And we can talk about the thematic reference a little later.
Woo!
Got a
What's
little
the mash
burn to
bill? This bitch got some bite.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it's like high in corn. Oh,
it is.
If I tried to light a cigarette right now,
yeah, dude. It's
I
Well,
would
there's a
actually-
Bob Dylan quote on the side.
oh, whoop-de fucking do.
Yeah, right.
is that to take you into the next
Well,
life?
because I think
Because
this
that's
was
what that
actually-
shit's gonna do.
This is actually stranged through an old hat of Bob Dylan's. I think that's
Oh, is that the sweat that's burning?
That's the sweat that's burning
Okay.
right now. Yeah.
Woo!
It's aged 5 years, smooth and lasting with notes of
No,
baking
it's not smooth.
spices
It-
and
it-
vanilla layered over a bed of toasted oak.
It's not smooth.
I'll give you the lasting part, but yeah, that's for sure. Definitely the lasting part.
It is,
It's thematic.
I brought Miller Lite because it's Miller time.
and it's what people drink in the Midwest. So that's
You fit
I
right
guess
in.
that-
In
yeah.
Oklahoma.
With
all I
your
could-
New Balances
all I
and your
New Balances.
in
jean
small,
shorts and
in
your
small
fucking-
town Oklahoma, where this movie was set.
All I could.
That is the drink.
I was at Wawa, and all I could hear in my head was Bill Murray going, "It's Miller time." It's like
That's
claps, and then
true.
so I saw the Miller Lite, and I was
That's
like,
true.
I
Yeah.
guess I'll
All right.
get something.
That's
Fair
solid.
enough. That's
God
good.
damn it.
That's
That
good.
is- that is actually.
And he comes in for the redemption.
Yeah.
Fucking.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
So
All right.
let's get into it. We have a few things that we wanted to cover on the second half.
Mhm.
Yes.
I mean, going into the climax of the movie, it really digs in more into the mythos of like Gozer, and the connection between the building in Manhattan to this small town.
So, yes. Everything about this movie tickled all of my fan sensibilities. Hugely.
Your geek taint was properly
Oh my God.
like rubbed on.
It was tickled beautifully.
Yeah.
However, I will say
This went
that
dark.
as a follow-up movie to this, the overall movie is fucking fantastic. Casting, writing, performances, great. After a while, I got tired of hitting you in the side because of all the references that were that were like just kind of beaten down upon us. And I don't mind them, but there were a lot. And in a sense, I started to think in my brain, like, are they trying to do The Force Awakens versus Star Wars right here to like remake the same movie?
Sure.
Now, in the end, they didn't.
No.
No.
Okay? They didn't. But there was definitely so many fucking callbacks.
Yeah.
It was rough.
There was an instance where she's calling up Ray Stantz, and as she's calling him up, the video that they've already watched several times, their commercial that they put out, and it just keeps cutting to that while she's dialing. In terms of storytelling or editing, that's probably the only real issue I had, because they did things really subtly. It was really subtle the way that they pulled him off. The Twinkie falling out of the glove compartment.
Yep.
Yeah, the camera just stays on it for like that second too long.
It does.
Yeah.
It does do the second too long.
No, but it's not a bad
I'm
thing.
okay with it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's the good times where it goes on too long.
Yeah.
The fact that he kept the same phone number from
No
the
shit.
old school
Well, and the phone, it was the red phone.
Yeah.
Like it was all that was all.
It was the old phone number from the commercial that was still Ray's Occult Bookshop,
Yeah.
which was a great reference. Ray's
Yes.
Occult Bookshop.
He had a
but-
bat phone.
I will say that you're right. If they had done a similar ending, like I was waiting for Gozer to be like, choose your champion, and I'm like, all right, now you just fucked up. You just fucked up. But the fact that it was all about them coming together, new and old, like fighting, and then of course, the greatest part of the movie, at least to me, fucking Harold Ramis, fucking spirit, fucking Egon, dude.
We're gonna get to that.
What they did do beautifully is, yes, they obviously did a good job of making it their own, and by doing that, they chose to go to the route of, if before we stopped Gozer, Egon knew. And the way they explained it, I really appreciated. Even when they got down to that cave and they showed the dates, they show that every so often, like, you can stop them. You could stop Gozer, but they're going to keep coming around.
Well, and there's dates after this 2021 one.
Right.
Like, it didn't stop with them, so I'm curious.
So he built a way to trap her and trap the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper to make sure that they can never get out again. So now that timeline has stopped, and it's going to be interesting to see if they go forward with it in that manner.
Well, and that's the thing, is that I'm curious as to when they move forward, if they're going to keep with the Gozer conversation, because the second one had nothing to do with Gozer. It was a totally different. It was Vigo the Carpathian.
Oh, you mean the movie they completely
ignored?
This is a
in
direct
this one?
sequel to the first film. 2 does not exist in this universe right now.
Viggy, I wouldn't say that. I have my reason. Sorry, go ahead.
One thing that I did appreciate, and it was definitely a turn for how the granddaughter recognized how much sacrifice her grandfather had, like trying to prevent the end of the world.
Right.
Is when you see the extra proton packs that was mentioned earlier, that he took all the proton packs, he took everything when she's on the phone with Ray.
Mm-hmm.
That he's using those to literally fucking laser some ghosts back down into the tunnel so they don't bubble back up again in 2021.
No, that shit was cool as fuck.
Yeah, she recognized at that point is that he realized that nobody was believing him on that this is a continuing issue that needs to be focused on, and so he sacrificed his family, his friends, where he lived, everything, to live as the dirt farmer in a nowhere fucking town, because he was the only one that was going to deal with this situation. And if it wasn't for him, we would have had an apocalypse already happen.
Yeah, several times. And that was a big turn. And I think it was really smartly done.
No, I appreciate that they made Spengler the unsung hero.
Yeah.
Of the franchise.
Yeah.
I will say on a very minor note, the fact that obviously we had Slimer in the first movie, briefly in 2.
In 2, yeah.
But now we have Muncher. It was a little on the nose.
That was maybe my biggest complaint on this, was that was a little bit.
It was still cute though. It still
yeah,
worked. It
it was
worked for the
fine.
context of the film.
It was the most cartoonish of everything in the film.
Yes.
And I mean, it's not that the first ones didn't have cartoony elements, but that was like so overboard cartoonish compared to the rest of the film that it seemed a little out of place.
But I will say, like, on that note, the effects in this movie were really well done.
Yeah.
They still, even using CGI, they still made it look very close to the original movies, like use of practical, like photographic effects of the ghosts. Like, it didn't look super different.
Yeah.
Like, it was close.
Then that also leads though to one of like my favorite scenes is the first chase scene where they're chasing they're chasing Muncher down the street, like throughout the town.
Oh my God, that was great.
Because when the gunner seat, there's things inside that you never really ever got to see inside the car. Like, you never really got to see.
That's true. They never
Ecto
shot
1.
it from inside the car.
That was on the toy. The
Yeah.
Ecto 1 toy had a gunner seat.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know
from
that.
the cartoon they did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cartoon as well. Yeah, but like, yeah, you're right. Neither of the first two films you got to see.
We just blew
Grutz's
Grutz's
mind.
mind.
I thought this was just like crazy, awesome invention of
No,
this
this
movie.
was a cut
No.
into the toys and the cartoons
There's
as well. Yeah.
No
deep-
shit.
That's a deep fucking cut too.
Yeah.
Oh no,
But
that
they never showed you. It's kind of like when Supernatural did an
So
episode
much
where it was
love.
all from baby's perspective. You
Right.
never saw inside Ecto,
Yeah.
and that was awesome to see that.
So it was really
Now,
and it was really
the
cool.
RC trap, the RC car trap. That's new.
That is new.
Yeah,
that was
that's-
fucking
and
rad,
that was
though.
rad as
You know
shit.
that was all
Fuck,
Egon.
dude.
And also, what kind of fucking RC car can go 60? Holy shit! That thing was keeping up with the Ecto 1 when it was going
Yeah.
full speed.
Yeah, it was
dude,
badass.
you don't know RC cars. Like, RC cars can do some crazy ass shit.
Yes, there are RC
Go on
cars that
YouTube.
can easily go that fast, but it was also built by hand by Egon.
Fair.
He built a proton pack. So I mean, I think
Yeah. Okay.
I think he can do
There's nuclear power involved in
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You know,
and he knows
Unlicensed nuclear power.
yeah, unlicensed nuclear power strapped to our backs.
Yes, awesome, so good, so fucking good.
Think about that. Think about like, and also just how talk about the most 80s ever in the entire concept of Ghostbusters is that total 80s feel. I built a nuclear reactor that we can have in a backpack, and people are like, cool. And then also, fucking grandpa that doesn't give a shit be like, hey, 12-year-old granddaughter, you can probably put this fucking nuclear fucking backpack together.
That weighs half your weight.
That relationship obviously being established through the chess match.
Yeah.
I think he saw it in her as a
Sure.
spirit, but
Yeah,
he wanted to see what her thought process was like. And then when he sent her down there, she sat down and goes, and she's like, how did you get the cyclotron, to get so small? She's like, and he points, he goes, all right, you're a genius. It's got like all this whole wall
That was
of like
such a fuck you kid, I'm smart.
But
moment.
Yeah, I loved it though.
which
I loved it.
Egon, you could see in Egon's face, like in the way Harold Ramis played him, was always there. He wasn't always so outwardly with it. I guess as he's dead, he's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm a genius.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah.
you know what? I see me and you, so let's get this shit started.
No, he started thinking about all the fucking payments he made towards his fucking degree, like his fucking school payments, and he was
Right.
like, I earned this shit, kid.
Yeah.
Like, I still have $300,000 in payments that your mom's gonna have to pay for now that I'm dead.
Because remember, he left a lot of debt.
A lot of that.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the fucking hat tips too in that downstairs basement
Oh,
laboratory.
God.
All the fucking rotting spores, molds, and fungus.
Funguses, yes.
Like, I'm like, everything was just like, God damn it, it's all there.
Mm-hmm.
As I
Yeah.
kept like elbowing your arm.
I just wanted to hear some things like, a free range roaming vapor. Like just some of those
yeah.
those real quick like Dan Aykroydisms, kind of
Okay,
really
here
thrown
we
in
are
there.
talking about how much fan service it's getting, and Kyle is in the back being like, if they just said free floating vapor, it would have
Well,
made
it was just some of the terms in which they used to describe the spirits. That I know they could only get so deep into it, but a part of me was like wishing that, especially towards the end when the big reveal and everybody shows up, that somebody's like Dan Aykroyd just throws out some weird fucking shit that he learned from his grandfather.
Or you could have had that you do almost like an Avengers thing where Paul Rudd's character has like trading cards from the Ghostbusters from the 80s because they had like
Because they were minor celebrities.
Minor celebrities or something, and then you can have like terms on the back and like, well, this is a class 4, and then reading the back of the card like it's the fucking like a baseball card where it's got the like things on the back.
That would have been funny as fuck.
That's a stage 4 like floating apparition or something. Just trying to use old cards to figure out what these different ghosts are would have been cool.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
cool.
I mean, none of us sitting here is going to make it better than we saw.
No, agreed.
Let's be honest. But there's some, they could have done a lot of different things but what they did was enough. It was sufficient.
So what we had is obviously the mastermind behind the building in New York in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
Also, prior to that, apparently, this is the plot of the movie, built a town in Oklahoma around a mine to raise Gozer, which I imagine was his first attempt.
A selenium mine.
Yeah,
which
a
is
selenium
a
mine.
great conductor of ghostly energies.
Exactly, which he mined and then built the building in New York with. But we get a small cameo of J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons
as the guy. I forget.
Yeah, the guy who built the temple.
Ivo Shandor.
Ivo Shandor.
Yeah.
Who was the guy who built that building in New York and is apparently dead, but not dead, whatever. And constructed this mine or mined it out in a way that it would now raise Gozer.
And he also so that entire town was built by him and mined in order to build the building in New York.
Yeah.
He built it with the resources from there.
Yeah.
And I love how they sat there and they went, and I'm glad that they were like, we're going to use that. Like, that is an amazing tie-in. Really smart, very simple, very subtle.
Well, and that's something that I took a moment to be like, well, if he had created this whole place in the Midwest to do this, why was he going to New York? But actually in the dialogue, it's expressed that this mine had existed for a while, and then one day those signs showed up, which it didn't put a date on it, suggests that it was after what happened in New York went down, is when it's like, well, this is our backup location to try to set this up.
I might be reaching here, but like, I mean, if we're talking about the canon that went into the sequel, the second movie,
yeah,
which is about like the slime that responds to like bad feelings and shit. Maybe they just needed New York to raise Gozer initially. And then they were like, oh, well, that didn't happen.
Well, and then
so we're just going to go back to Oklahoma.
And maybe Oklahoma was so dilapidated at that point that the negative feelings that town had from having literally no fucking infrastructure was enough to
and also, it's Oklahoma now, and there's a lot of bad shit going on down there.
Yeah.
Well, I think he built it. He built it in New York. He built it, and he may have had the mine. But depending on the times when they would come, I think he built it to affect the most populated that he could.
Yeah, sure.
You don't want to show up in the middle of a small town. It's got like a fucking 1,000 people and be like, choose your destructor. Like, you want to be in a city when you do that.
It's like Star Wars, too small for a proper demonstration of our power.
Right. That was very Sheldon-esque of you, the way he just pulled that off. But I think that's, you gotta put that into consideration when, or keep that in mind when you're thinking about why, when they're trying to tie it in, why did he do certain things?
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense that he'd want the destructor to be in the most populated place possible to do the most destruction.
I just want to give brief credit to the action sequences, driving sequences, the whole sequence in the warehouse.
Yeah.
All of these were really well shot and paced well. Like, I mean,
which is not Jason Reitman's like bag, really. Like with his previous films, he's
That's his-
not
that's
doing
his-
Like, honestly, I don't know Jason Reitman.
Juno,
Yeah.
Thank You for Smoking are his two big ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're great movies.
They're great, but they're like
Juno's
longer
good. Juno's
takes,
really good.
longer.
They're character and dialogue driven films. They're not action sequence driven.
But I
at
don't.
all.
I didn't know his name from that. So, kudos to him for making like all the driving sequences, everything with the freaking like Ghostmobile,
Ecto 1.
Ecto 1. Come on, man. Fucking amazing. Like just like careening
We were-
through the town,
and
all the
we
driving stunts.
Talked about off mic about that the scene where they're Tokyo drifting through the grain. That was a
right?
gorgeous scene.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Fucking beautiful.
Like most of the shots in that movie are beautiful in that way. Like so they're these like you get this up close and personal, but they're wider shots. Like you can see what's going on. You know, you're really following the action as opposed to like being in the car and it's all shaking about. You know, they do a really good job of just keeping you engaged that way. But for me, it was always the proton pack stream. Like if they had to they looked right in the previews, but the way they use it in the movie was absolutely on point, perfect. I could switch between that and the original, and I wouldn't really see that much of a difference.
Absolutely.
And I really just appreciate that was a character in itself. When they first shot the table outside, in my head I'm going, whoa, 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 you know, nice shooting, Tex. Like that's all I kept thinking in that moment.
The suspense was there when it needed to be. And everything about the action sequences or the tense scenes were on point. 100%.
I got to say that we talked, and I want to just kind of circle back to the older brother because we've talked very little about Finn Wolfhard, is that I don't think that his character got enough play in this movie at all. But I'm not mad about that because I think it's setting him up to, well, first off, he seems so much cooler to the girl that he liked because his little sister was such a badass.
Yeah.
Right,
And then
yeah.
he was able to like be the driver basically.
But he's also the mechanic. He's the engineer.
Yeah.
Like his sister's smart. She could figure out the math and do it.
If anything, he's like Winston's character.
Yeah, Winston. Yeah, I mean,
where he's like he's not into spooky shit. He's not into this stuff. He's not a scientist, but he's a mechanic. Like he knows how to get shit done.
That's true.
Like he's a little bit of a
an anchor. He definitely is an anchor for all the movies.
Yeah, he's able to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
His romance with the girl from the restaurant was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was legitimately sweet. It made me feel like I was watching a fucking 80s movie.
I like what 15? You're 15.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Yeah, I mean, what was she? 16, 17?
yeah.
You know, I mean, come on.
You know, they had this like, you know, I fuck with you sort of relationship. You
Yeah.
know, just fuck around. But it's never the focal point. Neither is the relationship between the mom and Paul Rudd's character. Like, it is, they're there to progress the story, but they're not in any way a focal point. If this shit happens after the fact, cool or not. But during, like, you know, their connections drove them to be there, to see this, to do that. And that's what I usually look at when it comes to movies, is how those small things progress the story without overtaking it.
I
She's
do
a dog.
appreciate the fact that Paul Rudd is a chameleon, and he can basically play any character, but also he can be subdued. Like he was not playing the star of this movie. He didn't try to. He played his role and it was perfect.
He's still Paul Rudding all over the role though.
He did because they wanted the comedy in this role, which was not just him, it was across the board.
Sure.
The kids did amazing comedy. But like, I mean, he didn't oversaturate this movie. Is what I'm saying.
Before we finish, I wanted to bring up a conversation that I've seen on a couple posts about the approach to this film versus the last attempt at doing a Ghostbusters film, which is 2016, and we don't need to get into that film too much.
Right.
No,
But
please.
the thing with 2016, as much as the intent was there, it was definitely a more comedy focused film, which is more in line with what the original films were, where you take big banger like comedians and you use their interaction with each other to be the focus of the film, and then all the kind of the concept of the film is like second to it.
Ad-libbing was that whole
yeah.
whole movie, but it was a Scooby-Doo.
Unfortunately, yeah, they just, the tone wasn't.
No, it was a live-action Scooby-Doo with Ghostbusters slapped on it.
There was a lot of wasn't the same focus on it being comedy characters interacting with one another wasn't there. It was more of like the mythos of the universe that drove the story, which isn't what Ghostbusters was to start. And I think that's what a lot of the critics are focusing on, is that it isn't like a yuck comedy.
Neither is the
movie.
original, though. It's a great, funny movie, but it's not like that either. It's scary and it's
Yeah.
it's
You're right.
engaging in that way. It's what makes it so great. It's not one thing.
Yeah.
I want to go to something that even when I looked over at my kid, we were tearing up. And
Best way to send off this episode.
was Harold Ramis and Egon Spengler and how they brought his character back. Now obviously he's this entity through the whole film, right? He's the one directing McKenna Grace's character,
Sure.
opening the door because of the sacrifices that he made. And the original Ghostbusters come back, they get to interact with him, and you just, Bill Murray's like, I thought I was going to see you here, basically. And it was just really beautiful is that he didn't say anything. And because he's a ghost, and because you could do it that way, it's not that it looked beautiful. It looked peaceful after the fact.
Yeah.
And they gave his character that true send-off that no one's been able to give, because he died in 2014.
Yeah.
I am very appreciative that I teared up like a big bald
Oh,
baby.
yeah, me too.
No, we got the amazing send-off of this movie, of the original, the Ghostbusters remaining, coming back in the finale. It was amazing. But to follow up with you, the fact that Egon was there in a ghost form,
Holding his granddaughter.
Yes.
Like, steady.
holding his
Steady.
granddaughter,
Oh, God.
but he
Dude.
never spoke. And I
That was
was
key.
so scared that someone was gonna try to speak his voice,
Right.
and he
Yeah.
never did.
They didn't
and
even
I was
fucking
so
try.
happy with that.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
The only time you heard his voice was the old commercial.
Yep.
That was the only time you ever heard his voice,
I
and
thought
that's how it
was
should
so
be.
incredibly smart. And I love the line, and I'm sure they just let Bill Murray do whatever the fuck he wanted to.
Oh, you know it.
That he was like, I had a feeling he would show up.
Yeah,
and it almost like a minorly annoyed kind of tone in his voice.
I miss you, my friend. Like, they got to say their goodbyes,
Yeah.
and he got to hug his daughter, and I was looking at that going,
Right.
like he gets to hug his daughter. His daughter's finding closure. This is fucking crazy.
And honestly,
Crazy good.
I expected like just end of the movie cameos, but we actually had action sequences with the remaining old school Ghostbusters,
Yep.
and I fucking lost my goddamn fucking mind.
And Bill Murray talking shit to Gozer,
Oh my
as
god.
Bill Murray does, and you just see how fucking pissed off Gozer is getting.
I was
You
like,
just,
oh,
like-
yep, she
He's
remembers
like,
us.
Did you miss us? And she's just like, are you gods? And just, I mean, the way that whole scene played
Oh.
itself out was just like, Ray, we fucking been through this. Oh yeah, we're all gods. It was just really smart. It was just, and it was a good throwback to the fans, but it was also a good way to kind of just put a new spin as opposed to them just coming in, shooting their proton streams, going, all right, we'll see you later. It was
Yeah.
like, no, I think you brought us back.
And the one thing I want to end on before we're completely finished is the final end scene,
Yes.
where it's got it's a beautiful touch to talk. I mean, that you can really have a moment for Egon and for the rest of the boys and what they meant at the time, and then also setting up. Winston is very well off. Like, he's a billionaire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he is very successful. And he's also never gotten away from the fact that the best years of his life was being a Ghostbuster.
Oh.
So it's setting up such an opportunity for like Ghostbuster, like shit to happen.
Extreme Ghostbusters.
And then the fucking the car coming in and going into the old fucking firehouse and shit.
Well, for years and years, we've always thought that like Winston's character was super, sidelined. Like he came in late in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he was sidelined.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
fact.
He was like
He had some important statements, like the whole conversation with Ray Stantz about Revelation was like one of the most important moments in. But yeah, he was definitely.
But like a lot of his lines got cut from the movie originally, like stuff like that. I really felt like they did him a solid.
Yep.
With not only bringing him back, but like giving him that extra ending scene.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean,
where he was like the successful businessman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he might like,
see.
make next things happen. I was so fucking happy for that last fucking scene.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he'll pay off all of Egon's debts. Probably set up the daughter and everything like that. They'll come move into the house, the firehouse, and McKenna Grace is going to be the Egon of the group. She's going to be the science wizard, and then
I think
it's going to be great. They did a great job.
A year or two, but she's 15, so you have like 17 or 18-year-old, and then her being approached by Winston, being like, "Hey, so here's something you might be interested in," and
I think by this point that's already been the case. She's already been a part of the team. They've already been doing this.
You think?
Well, why? She's got the brains. He's got the financing. They have people connected to the lineage of it. I mean, they wouldn't. At least I don't know if he'd send them out on ghost hunts with the proton back strapped on them. But I think that she'll be a part of his life moving forward because of the sacrifice that Egon did, because of his status. Especially Bill Murray's character,
too. I think it
too.
depends on if they want to do like a Batman Year One version of Ghostbusters, where it's like them trying to figure out how the packs work and a better system for controlling ghosts or something, or if they just rely on old technology, or I don't know. But that's what I'm excited for. There's a pretty good likelihood we're going to get a sequel, and I'm fucking here for it. I want to hear our listeners and your feelings on this movie.
Yeah.
It is weirdly divided between viewers and critics on how they feel about it.
Is it? Because critics, the last time I saw the critic score was like close to 100%. It was like 96%.
Well, the critic score was...
excuse me, not the audience score. The critic score was like 61.
Last I saw was 94% for viewer score. Which
for viewer score.
It's still like very fresh.
That's who I care about. Well, it is, but that's what I care about because more of the audience has seen the movie than fucking critics, and I guarantee you that by astronomical amount.
This movie is going to do very well, and I have no doubt that they're going to have reason to do a sequel. And if they follow the same line of being a proper homage to the original, while still trying to find feet with like new characters and their new their new reason for being Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to see how that turns out as a modern new trilogy of movies.
As long as
I have no problem with Jason Reitman making this a franchise.
Take my money, son. Take it.
Absolutely.
Do it.
You did a good job, sir.
So on that note, thank you so much for listening to this very verbose and long-winded episode about Ghostbusters, but why would it not be?
Yeah.
This is such a near and dear to our heart subject matter.
You've got some editing to do.
Yeah, I do. But it's still going to probably end up an hour 20 episode. So
you're welcome, audience.
I appreciate everyone that stuck around to hear out our insights and love for this this IP. This is something that is definitely about as close to my chest as like Star Wars stuff, as far as like deep love. So,
100%, man.
I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited to have more conversation about the Ghostbusters in the future. So if you want to hear something specifically from the Geeks Under the Influence, an episode or something, let us know. If you want to have a conversation about previous stuff that we talked about, let us know. You can do that through GUIPodcast.com, Geeks Under the Influence at gmail.com, our hotline number 804-505-4484, 804-505-4GUI, or our social media, which you can find Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Let us know what you think about the new film. I want to hear more from fans than critics at this point, because I think the fans all across the border of the same mentality where this is a fucking blast.
Yeah.
And I want to hear your input. You can find us next time for another episode of Geeks Influence. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Mike the Hobbit. Join us or die.
Shut the fuck up, Hobbit.
Join us or die. Join us or die. Or I will swallow your soul.
GUIPodcast.com.
Fuck that shit. Haagen-Dazs.